Hi, everybody. This is Carrie with End Time Victory. I wanted to share a dream I had on August 11th with you. It's pertaining to the tribulation and specifically mid-trib. Um, I started out, my perspective was in the sky, and I saw the sky. It was like a pale blue sky, and it had a wisp of smoke. And as I saw that, my perspective started changing, and I was coming down, and I was above some treetops. And I immediately recognized that these trees were not like trees that I knew that were in my area where I lived. I could tell that they were different. They were not things indigenous to my area. Um, and then I started coming further down, and then I recognized that I was over a mountain range, some mountains. Um, and I saw a family coming up. They were in a mountain range and they were traversing the mountains. And so I saw a family of four, a mom, a dad, and a couple of children. And they come up over a mountain top. And um, as they started coming over, they walked down a little trail and went to the right. And they were normal looking. They didn't look disheveled. They didn't look distressed. Or their clothes weren't distressed. Their body wasn't distressed. They weren't dirty or anything like that. They were just kind of normal looking people walking through the mountains. And then a little while later, I saw this little girl. She was about 4 or 5, and she had a beautiful little summer dress on, um, that was pale blue and it had flowers all over it. And um, both the family before and her shared the same sort of skin tone. It was olive skin, and they all had dark hair as well. But she was not with them. I knew that that was not her family. She was by herself. So she came up over the same little mountain top that they had, only this time she went to the left and they had gone to the right. So she went to the left, but before she turned to the left, she stopped and looked over at me and smiled, the biggest, most beautiful smile. And immediately, really, really, really fast, uh, it changed to another scene. And it was the same little girl. Uh, you could tell that she was a couple of years older because she had grown a little bit in height. Um, Her hair was just a little bit longer, but and she had the same dress on. However, the dress was shorter, obviously, because she had grown a little bit. The dress was no longer beautiful. She and the dress were filthy. They were filthy. The dress was ragged and tattered. It looked like she had never changed out of that dress. And it was filthy. She was filthy. She was emaciated. She was so skinny and so scrawny. She looked like she was starving to death. Um, it it was very disturbing because it reminded me a lot of pictures I had seen of Holocaust survivors. Um, right after that, very, very fast again, I saw another scene, and it was numbers just floating around. Um, I couldn't really identify the numbers because they were going so rapidly. So I focused in and I saw the number 51 real fast. It appeared, I saw it, and then it vanished again, or vanished. And then the next thing I saw was X2. And I was looking at it and I was thinking, X2, these are all numbers. Why is there a letter in here? And then I said, oh no, it's not X2, it's times two. I said, okay. So the next scene, very, very fast, was a blue sky with a huge white cloud, white puffy cloud. And the feeling was very solemn, very serious. Um, and I felt in my spirit, I felt like an announcement that somebody very, very important was being announced, was being introduced. And I felt like a boom, like a dun dun dun, very, very serious. And there was a a light that came up behind the cloud. I didn't see the light, I just saw its effects. And if you watch, I don't know, a couple of videos ago of mine on the channel In Time Victory, I had the same sort of thing in one of the dreams, but I knew that that was Jesus, Yeshua. I knew that light behind the cloud was him, the Son. This time in this dream, I knew the feeling was altogether different. The announcement was altogether different. This was the Father. This was our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, being announced. His presence was being announced. It was glory. It was glorifying. It was amazing. It was awe inspiring. This presence was altogether different than the one that I had seen a couple of times before. And that was the last of the dream. So the first part of the dream, I knew what it was in the dream. I knew who I was looking at and what I was seeing. And I was seeing, and this is also in Mark, but I'm reading out of Matthew 24:15 through 21. So when you see standing in the holy place the abomination that causes desolation, spoken of through the prophet Daniel, let the reader understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let no one on the housetop go down to take anything out of the house. Let no one in the field go back to get their cloak. How dreadful it will be in those days for pregnant women and nursing mothers. Pray that your flight will not take place in winter or on the Sabbath, for then there will be great distress, unequaled from the beginning of the world until now, and never to be equaled again. And I believe her dress, her spring/summer dress, indicates that it's not going to be in the winter. That prayers are going to be answered. It's not going to be in the winter, because she was wearing warm climate clothes as they were making their entrance into the mountains. And then a couple of years later, I saw her where she was, I believe, when upon his return, upon Jesus Yeshua's return. The number 51, I reached out to a lady, Rhonda Ibsen, and she pointed me to the biblical meaning of number 51, which is divine revelation or word, divine word. And times 2 indicates seriousness, like Jesus Yeshua, when he says verily, verily, like listen, listen, this is serious, this is serious, like emphasized. And then our Father's presence being announced, and also the speed and how rapid all of these scenes came to me. I mean, it was so intense and so fast that I couldn't hardly grasp the concept of the scene before it switched to another. I barely did it. I felt like I was running a race. It felt like a download coming to me, and it was overwhelming. If you apply what was seen and what was given to me, what I believe is that his word, his divine word, is going to be fulfilled, and it's going to be in rapid succession, just like the scenes were. And that he is introducing it, he is announcing it, and it will be fulfilled soon. As always, I love you. I'm praying for you, and have a blessed day.